Hey Raiders, Jacko here with another Raid Shadow Legends video. Today we're going to do another one of our beginners tutorial series. And in that vein, we're going to go over the PvP aspect of the game, specifically Arena. Now, in the Arena, there are actually two different types of Arena. There's the Classic Arena here, and Tag Team Arena. We're going to go into Tag Team Arena first because, frankly, it's the less interesting of the two. Essentially what Tag Team Arena is 3 consecutive fights of 4 champions. The only difference between a tag team fight and a classic arena fight is that you can't use the same champions from one grouping to the next, from one fight into the next. So it's got to be essentially 12 different champions. I personally don't like Tag Team Arena. It's my least favorite aspect of the game. However, there are 2 reasons to go into it and do it. Not saying that that's going to be the same for everybody. I'm sure there are people out there that really enjoy Tag Team Arena. I'm just not one of them. Now, the 2 primary reasons. First is that there are advanced quests. Every day you're going to have an advanced quest to do 5 Tag Team Arena battles. That's well worth doing every day, just to get it out of the way. And you don't even have to win them. However, each time you do win one of the individual battles, you get a certain number of gold bars. That's worthwhile for point number 2. However, point number 1.5 is that in the advanced quests, generally there will also be another quest in there that involves the Tag Team Arena. Generally something along the lines of fighting Tag Team Arena with a party that is all of the same faction, or all of the same affinity, or one of each different kinds of affinity. So just pay attention to that before you go into your Tag Team Arena. I personally have my parties set up so that I've got a group here that has 1 of each affinity. I've got a group here that has 4 Knight Revenants, so all the same faction. And if I notice that it's all of 1 affinity, I just move Coffin Shaker out here for any other Force affinity, and I've got that one too. So pretty easy in that regard. Point 2 on the Tag Team Arena is the Bazaar. This will open up when Tag Team Arena opens up. And what you're looking for is these champion fragments. It's champion fragments of Drexthar Blood Twin. Really good champion. Takes 360 gold bars to purchase 1 fragment out of the 100. This is going to take a long time of grinding to get. So don't worry about it too much. It's always going to take more than 100 days because you're never going to be buying him on the same minute every day as soon as it refreshes. So don't worry too much about it. You'll get him eventually. As you can see, it is a 24-hour cooldown. You can only get 1 of them at a time. As you get higher and higher in ranks, you can use your gold bars to buy nicer things, even legendary tomes or sacred shards. That's up to you and how well you do. I just go for the champion fragments at this point. So that's Tag Team, nothing special there. Classic Arena, this is far more entertaining. So Classic Arena is just a matter of a 4v4. Flat out, that's it. You have tiers here, which go from Bronze 1 all the way up to Platinum 1. Go in the other direction. There you are, up to Platinum. The higher the tier, the better rewards you're going to get at the end of the week, provided you're in that tier at the end of the week. Now, as you travel up the tiers, you're going to run into the fact that at some point, you're going to hit a plateau. You're not going to be able to go any farther, and that's to be expected. And honestly, Bronze and Silver, from everything I've read online, are actually currently harder than Gold. The reason for that is because Gold, they've introduced bots into the game. Essentially, Plarium-made parties that are the same and easy to defeat. Once you get to that point, all you have to do is tailor your squad to be able to deal with the bot squad, and then you can just farm them indefinitely. So, speaking of farming, there are 2 primary methods I utilize to farm. The first is what a lot of people are going to do. They're going to push their way up to as high of a tier as they can, and then do the fights in that tier to get their medals. And the medals are used for the town hall, for the Great Hall. Very useful thing. You can use gold medals to purchase silver ranked, essentially, Great Hall. Bonuses, again, you can use silver to purchase bronze. Just a smaller number than you would of the appropriate type of medal. So it is really good to farm as high up as you can get. So the first method of farming is going to be pushing up as high as you can and then battling in that tier to get your medals. However, if you're battling as high as you can get, you're going to end up being maybe 50-50, maybe even less than that on win rate. So something that you want to do is try and tailor your defense. At the moment, I've got it all the way up, and that's for a specific reason. I've got a full team here on my defense. But you're going to want to tailor your defense so that it's easy enough for people to kill you, to drop you down a ways, but not out of the color you're in. So if you're in silver, not out of silver. That way you can fluctuate between at the bottom of silver, then use all your coins, your battle coins, to win all your battles and get farther up, and then you'll drop down again. It's a really tight balance to get. You'll have to experiment with it, find what works for you. That way you're getting the best medals you can, as well as the most win rate as you can. Very important there. For me, why I've got my defense set up as my full team is I'm actually pushing for a mission to get into Silver 3. So I need to not drop down at all and just be very careful about farming. Now, if you notice, these teams look pretty rough. I've already tried some of them they are. So I'm just going to refresh and try and find teams that I can actually take. Sometimes you're not going to find any. Sometimes you are going to find one that you can take. Just be patient. If you're trying to climb up for a mission, be patient. Just use your free refreshes every 15 minutes. Never use your gems. And cherry pick your fights. You'll get there. I promise. I got up to gold 1 doing this. With this team, you'll get there. Now, the second method of farming is to put your defense at like a level 1 uncommon champion, so everybody can defeat you. That's going to drop you way down, and it's going to make all of your fights a lot easier to push back up. It means you're going to be in bronze a lot, though. Where I use that farming technique is when there is a champion takedown, or a takedown event. Essentially, there it is, arena takedown event. If I had a memory, these videos would go so much better. So in the champion takedown events, I put one guy in my defense so that I can get all the way down to the bronze. That guarantees that pretty much every fight I go into is a win. And if every fight's a win, I get more points and get the top tier reward I can get. It means that I'm never going to get first or second place, but that's okay. I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for the rewards on the event. So how do you organize a team at this stage, at the beginning stages of the game for Arena, so that you can get as high as you can? Well, there's a very simple strategy that is essentially speed farming. What that means is you're going to want to get a champion who can boost your speed. You get High Katun at 30 days, brilliant speed farmer. If you get Apothecary, he's really good too, as he has the turn meter boost. Diabolist from stage 12 of the campaign, another really good speed farmer. Grab any one of these, that's what you're going to want as your lead, or not necessarily as your lead. If they've got a speed in all battles as their aura, then you want them as your lead. Otherwise, use a lead that has a good aura for you. In this case, 66 power versus 92. I probably don't want to do this fight. Anyways, you want a speed lead, essentially, if possible. If not, you want a speed booster on your team. You need them to go as fast as possible. They are your linchpin. If the enemy goes faster than they do, you're likely going to die. Next up, you want any sort of buffer you might have. Or someone who can put provokes or counterattacks, like this Skull Crusher over here, something along those lines, something that gives you some utility. Here I've got Doom Priest, which gives me an attack up, which is really nice. Third up, you want a debuffer, somebody that can do a decreased defense on the enemy team. War Maiden is the perfect person, and she's got a good affinity to go up against the most common nukers you're going to have at this early stage of the game, which are Magic Affinity, which are the starting champions. Finally, you're going to want your nuker. The point of this setup, so High Khatun to Doom Priest to War Maiden to Golek, is that all of these stack up, making sure that we go first with the speed, that our attack is as high as possible and their defense is as low as possible, so Golek one-shots their team. Which doesn't always work, but it's the primary methodology you're going to want to do to speed farm. As I said, Diabolist is a great option instead of High Khatun. Apothecary if you've got them. Option for Doom Priest here is whatever her name is. You can get her in the campaign during the Dark Elf portion. She is down here somewhere. Somewhere. Apparently, I have no idea where the champion is. There she is. We've got Spirit Host. There we go. I think I'd remember that. So Spirit Host is a great option for that buffer. And she has some cleanse involved as well. So she's a really good option at the beginning as well. I use Doom Priest because I've got her at 6 stars. She's a very nice, badass character. So let's go ahead and see if we can find a fight here that I might stand a chance against. Maybe, though Apothecary and Miscreated Monster are an ugly team to go up against. The 76. Let's give it a try. We'll either show exactly how it is or show what happens when you're not faster than your enemy. Yes, do the fight. There we go. So that's your primary methodology of farming at the beginning levels. When you get up to the higher levels, there are all sorts of other team comps, resistance comps, defense comps, things like that that very well can work. But at the beginning, you're really going to want to stick to that speed comp. When you get into gold and can get to those bots, there are certain speeds you want to, speed thresholds you want to get. You want your leader, your speed booster, to be above a 220 speed. All your other characters, you need to be above 170 speed. I've actually got all that and still have a hard time pushing to gold. As I said, bronze and silver, way harder than gold at the moment. And the reason for that is when people quit, maybe they've got a really good team, they've been playing for a while, but they decide to quit the game, they slowly go down in the ranks over time until their badass team is sitting in bronze 1, thwarting the newbies. It's a terrible system, but what can you do? The answer to what can you do is you cherry pick. You stay on top of your refreshes and you cherry pick as much as possible to get yourself out of those lower brackets. As you can see, I compared their powers essentially to my power. That's an okay set. You can also, hey, look, I gotta go first. Let's see how it works. So, boosted speed. Doom Priest comes in, boosts the attack, wonderful. War Maiden gives them the decreased defense, and here we are, and we drop their main damage dealer. So at this point, I'm not too worried. I mean, Miscreated Monster is a little worrisome, but it's not too scary at this point. Wow, he does a decent amount of damage. But their main nuker is gone, so I can just mop them up a little bit here. And there we go. We won. And their power was higher than mine. All because I got to go first. That's why you want your speed booster as fast as humanly possible. So, there you go. There is the arena and the PvP aspect of the game for Raid Shadow Legends. Since we do aesthetics here, we're going to hop into the index. And why don't we grab Spirit Host? She's going to be in Dark Elves. You can find her in one of the campaign missions. I think it's like 3 or 4. It's not that far in. And is one that you can very well use. As I said, she's got a speed aura. That's really nice. She's got a block debuffs, which is good, and a remove debuffs, a cleanse. So if you goes more than 1 round, that can be really nice. And she's got that increased attack. So she's an aura lead as well as your increased attack. So that's really nice. In terms of her aesthetics here, Go away. There we go. She's got essentially just clothing. Now, we can hope that this drape on her left side is reinforced with leather. It looks like it might well be, which means that her left side is actually going to be rather well protected. But she's leaving this right side open. Very attractive, great for the club, not great on the battlefield. It gets even worse as you get up here. She's got a few studs here, but since that looks like it's cloth and not leather, it's really not going to defend her torso at all. It's very likely leather on the drapes and everything. That's how you get these points to stick up. Since it's leather, hopefully it's not too hard and she's not going to gouge her own eye out with her pauldrons. However, given the fact that she is missing one eye, I assume she has already gouged her eye out and just hasn't learned her lesson. Leather gloves, decent. Since she's wielding a scythe, a two-handed weapon, she really wants that rigid finger protection. So her next accoutrement from her eye patch is going to be a prosthetic fingers. All in all, I'm going to give our spirit host here on her armor a 2 gourd. On her weapon, though, the weapon is gorgeous. That's a beautiful scythe. I mean, very hooky, very stabby and choppy. Orcs would love it. It's just beautiful. And she can turn around and use it as a mace, even. So, hey, pretty nice. She doesn't have the right accoutrements to wield it, given her, you know, lack of gauntlets, but apparently nobody cares about their fingers. Maybe fingers are invulnerable in the world of Raid. Who knows? All in all, I'm going to give her nice, vicious scythe here a 4 gourd. Badassitude? No, she just doesn't have any. She's in very light armor. The level of skill needed to actually wield something like a scythe on the battlefield is exponentially higher than like a basic glaive or something like that. She doesn't have any depth perception. She's got the entire left side here is a blind side to her, and she's going to be honestly knocking herself out with the weighted braids, braid coverings, ribbons. They look cool, but really not effective on the battlefield. So, badassitude, I am very unimpressed. 1 gourd. So, all in all, for Spirit Host, her aesthetics, though a very pretty champion, and I do like the look on a fantasy basis. For aesthetics, for real combat, she's getting a 2 gourd. So, that does it for another one of our beginners tutorial series here at Jacko's Raider Rants. Thank you again for watching to the end. If you have any tips or tricks for boosting yourself in the arena or anything along those lines, go ahead and put them in the comments below. Otherwise, I hope to see you next time and have a great day.